I'm here today with Peter Legård Nielsen, and I want to announce a workshop that will be happening entitled Working with Kundalini through IFS. It'll be on Friday, October 24th at noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It should be a wonderful workshop, and I'm going to chat with Peter for a moment so you get a sense of what this really unusual and important workshop will be. So, Peter, maybe we can start by just introducing yourself a little bit. Say a little bit about your journey, why this workshop is dear to you, why it's so important. Maybe sort of speak to what needs it may answer for participants, what people will walk away with, and maybe a little bit about the structure of the workshop.
Yes. Yeah, I am an IFS therapist, and I also am a clinical consultant for the Institute, and actually also the organizer of the IFS trainings here in the Nordic countries. I also work as a body worker, as a rolfer. I actually come from body work and stepped into IFS because I felt that something was missing in my body work. And what I didn't expect was to find this total new world that unfolded in front of me. And yeah, when you step into IFS, you very often become taken by it. It's like something very, very important and also to live your life. I'm also a writer. I started actually out as a fiction writer, and I have also made some nonfiction books lately. The one about Kundalini, which is building on my own experience from when I was 18 and had what is called a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. It did not go so well, and it haunted me for many years. And also for many years, I didn't work with Kundalini. And then I suddenly was approached by a client who wanted help with exactly that energy. And from there, I started to build a way to work with the Kundalini energy when it's spontaneous, when it's strong, when it's destroying our lives. And I think that is for me the main purpose of doing this workshop and also writing the book, telling about how is the situation, to share what happened, because it's always nice to know that someone else has gone through something that I might also have gone through. But then also to say there is a way out of this, and it's possible to work with it also if it's a strong destroying energy. We are not talking about what you work with when you go to, let's say, yoga training, Kundalini training, where you can feel nice streams of energy, but we are talking about when it goes wrong, which is also where it sort of is in a gray area related to psychosis and things like that. And we will also talk about that and how to distinguish the Kundalini experience from, for instance, psychosis. Yeah.
Would it be fair to say, in my experience, there are individuals whose nervous system, whose brain mind is more, let's say, open or vulnerable to these energies, and that the reason they're so destructive is there's a kind of profound upwelling insistence that demands to be met. And if it's not well met, it just can wreak havoc because there's such, I'm going to say, spiritual urgency. It doesn't care about the person's life. And it sounds like for you, when you discovered IFS, it created a context for having a more wholesome ecological relationship when these energies are met by self and trust that self will rightly engage. They begin to cooperate and modulate, and it becomes workable. Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say in many cases, also in my case, it's like the plug is sort of taken off and the energy comes much too strong.
Right.
I have also seen it with clients who are actually on a spiritual path, maybe even working with a master, doing a lot of meditation and things like that, where nevertheless it suddenly becomes too strong and scary.
Mm.
And
Mm.
one of the problems is, of course, that we are so afraid of it normally. Already, if we didn't have the fear, it would be easy to push it.
Right.
But I think it's it's a transformative force that gets into our lives, so comes from our inside.
Mm.
And I have for many years looked at it as a gift wrapped in snakes.
Okay.
And now it's a gift for me, but it took me also 40 years to, or at least 35 years to get to that point. And I think it can be done faster.
Yeah. So that's partly what this is all about for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I would say it's both for people who want to work with clients who have these issues and also for people who have these issues, and so that they can get to know more about it. And of course, it's also interesting to work with this in supervision and help other therapists to deal with it.
Would it be fair to say that it's also just to begin, it's a way to begin to tune in to those energies, even if they're much quieter, but just to begin to be familiar with those energies as sort of an organic presence that all of us in different ways can have access to?
Yeah, I think that's where I would like to end the workshop with some thoughts about that, so that maybe we can approach it in a totally different way. You said ecological before, and I think that's the way to approach it.
Mhm.
Because I don't think that in the present we are meeting Kundalini the way that we actually could meet it, with respect and compassion, and work with it from there, which is, or which also fits totally into the IFS paradigm.
Yeah.
Uh,
In a way, it's what Kundalini seeks. It seeks to be met, and IFS provides the framework for doing that. Yeah.
we have the problem that the energy is so strong that it is hard for it to adapt to our slower way of
Mm,
being. It wants to
mm,
sway through us, and
mm.
when it goes wrong,
And that you said that's when it goes wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Can you say a little bit, maybe summarize what people will walk away with
yeah.
if they take this workshop? Yeah.
My plan is to do a meditation where we can start to sort of tap into this area where everyone can sit and feel in themselves. We won't go directly into something that could be upsetting for the system. What we will just sort of uh, work with something safe in that sense. And then we will do a live demo. And yeah, it might be you who will be the client. We'll look into that, and or if not, we
Mhm.
have a participant who can do that. And then later on in the day, we will do probably diets where people also can sit with some cheat sheets and work with
Mhm.
each other, something out again in a safe way, which is really important here. But so that they get a taste of how to work with this energy and what is surrounding it, because we can't just only work with the energy, but also other parts that are connected with it.
So working with the parts that may inadvertently, in their efforts to protect, create more conflict and actually more intensity. The Kundalini reacts to being contained or sequestered. So to work with the parts so they can make room for a more self-led unfolding relationship between self and the Kundalini.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So prepare for the work that could continue after that,
right.
if someone wanted to go into that. And then I hope that I can share a lot of my experience with how this
Mm,
has been.
mm,
And hopefully also there will be some discussion. So there's time to talk with the participants and to ask questions, and also to bring forth experiences that the participants might have had. So
mm.
yeah, that's that's the plan.
Sounds good. And what I want to say to listeners, my hope is that this is the beginning of a variety of workshops, as well as panel discussions, study groups, just an opportunity to explore all the different ways that we engage with the spiritual dimension of our healing practice. IFS is, by its very nature, a psycho-spiritual and extremely practical practice. I think it'd be wonderful for all of us to increase our comfort with the many ways and forms in which spirit makes itself manifest, to normalize these. I'm going to also say, particularly in the times we are now, we need to be deeply rooted in the upwelling of that spiritual wisdom that we all have and that shows up in many, many different forms. So, this workshop, again, it's Friday, October 24th from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you'll spread the word. This will be on the IFS Healers platform. Peter, just it's an honor, it's a pleasure. Grateful that you'll be sharing this. It's a pleasure getting to know you as a colleague, and I hope we have much learning together
going
forward, as well as with this larger community.
Thank you very much, David. And for me, it's likewise. And a great pleasure for me to get to.
All right, my friend.